Welcome to our next episode of
Fandom
Family
Chats.
This is a production of Family Fan Clubs on Facebook. You can find us all over Facebook. You can find us all over social media under Fandom Family Chats. Look us up, get dialed in, get plugged in, and get ready to listen to some crazy people talk crazy stuff. Hey guys, welcome back to FFC. I'm Maureen.
I'm Amanda.
I'm Jeanette.
Tonight we are back. We finally got one of our first premieres, and it's my favorite of our returning shows until The Bear comes out, and then that's going to switch very fast. But this is the one I was anticipating the most, I think, because it's so regular. Whereas, some of our other shows, they have fewer episodes, more drama, whatever. But I was excited that Chicago came back. We are talking Chicago PD, Chicago Med, and Chicago Fire tonight. And I missed them. I didn't realize how much I missed them until I was watching the episodes.
I figured I missed them after I rewatched the season finales of all of them. And that's kind of when I was like, oh, well, now I'm excited. It's just, it had been so long that it was kind of in the back of my mind. And I was just like, okay, Chicago's coming back on.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
And this is the first time that I've never fast forwarded through the recap. Just please play all the way through.
I even watched the recaps too. It's okay.
In our chat, I was like, Jeanette, I think Adam gets shot. And she was like, no, he ended shot. I'm like, what?
He's already been shot.
How did he end shot? I don't remember that.
I don't know how you could forget about Adam, though. Like, that was a big deal.
Chemo brain. And it was last May. It was almost a year ago that the final aired. So I don't remember. And you guys
chemo brain. I forgot he was shot too. Don't worry.
Yeah, but I just have an excuse and I like throwing it out there so people feel bad for chastising me.
Well, I don't have an excuse. I just have a short memory.
Solidarity. That's your excuse. We're going to start with PD as we usually do, mostly because it's my favorite. And it's Jeanette's favorite. Amanda, Fire is your favorite, right? Or is Med your favorite? Or is it PD? I don't remember. Fire. That's what I thought.
Well, I have I think you just haven't been on podcasts with us in a long time. I feel like all three shows have gotten away from getting us invested in the characters.
Yes.
We're not seeing their personal lives. We're not seeing anything
more focus on the cases.
So it's hard to feel connected.
I think with PD too, and especially now with the writer's strike has altered so much, and so many people are choosing to move on from the projects that they were in before the strike, that it's just with PD, certainly it just felt like the whole episode was about we're preparing to say goodbye to someone, so we have to build that up. So it's not even like you're still not focusing on Haley's relationships. It just kind of felt, I enjoyed watching it, just not as much as I usually do. But with her, it just kind of felt like we are solely focusing on her cases, and then the cases will say why she's leaving instead of having Haley interact with the people in her team and her family around her and letting her show us why she's leaving. If that makes sense.
Yeah. No, it does.
And like the only person I was really excited to see this week in PD was Torres, and guess who wasn't there?
Well, I was going to say the same lines though. Like, I mean, we left off with Adam's life hanging
Kim.
In the balance. I mean, he was literally. We didn't get. I know there was a shot of him in the hospital bed recovered that didn't air.
Yeah.
So, but we didn't actually see that. If we hadn't found that spoiler, we would have not even known if he survived surgery. And they tried to make it out, like trying to make us scared in the beginning of this episode, and then we barely focused on him. Like, that's where we left off. Why not keep the focus there?
Well, I think that they were also in a tough spot because they couldn't just pick up where they left off. They just couldn't. It's been too long. So I think that they wanted to move it because before the writer's strike happened, they had a trajectory for what they wanted next season to be about. So they filmed that shot we didn't get. They filmed that with the anticipation that come September, they were going to finish that out. But to end where they wanted to end the season, they had to shortcut it. But that also fell flat too, because then we were just being told a lot of information. Torres is gone. Adam's in recovery. Adam's better. Like, we missed out on, and I know that's not entirely their fault is the thing, but we did miss out on those meatier chunks that we crave, that is about how they recover together. We didn't, like you said, Amanda said, we didn't get a lot of Kim. We didn't see Kim helping him through this. I did like seeing the Kevin Adam, and I hope that is something that they continue to push through, because I like the romance, but I miss those friendships.
Yeah.
I agree. I think
Any kind of relationships
within the team in general need to be like, that was what was so great, I think, about these shows, were like the relationships between all of the people that work together. And we're just lacking in that. And I mean, like with Torres, let's talk about him again. Like they said, he's off on furlough helping his mom. So does that mean, is he going to be back? Is he not?
better.
Like, I hope so, because
if he's not back, I'm gonna be mad because they finally put somebody in that show that I like. Other than like, I love everybody in PD except like Haley. She can come or go. I'm sorry, but
no, I agree now. I mean, she's definitely taken a turn. So,
but like, I really like Torres. So if they like put him in for a few episodes and then just like take him away, I'm gonna be really upset about this.
Torres for me he's either like right at Adam's level or just
be careful.
He might be like just at Adam's level or slightly edging him out. But there's no way I could put him at the number 2 spot. He's either tied for 1 or he's 1 for me. But
I love him.
What this reminds me of, and I'm gonna bring up this fella right here, but it reminds me of the writer's strike that happened during Friday Night Lights when, what was his name? The new football player. Salvatore?
Yeah.
No,
it wasn't it.
Salvatore.
Better than S though.
Yes, but the one that was living with like Lila and like,
yeah.
That they amped up that storyline. We were really excited to see him. We were excited to see what they went, but then they came back from the writer's strike and he was just gone.
Yeah,
no explanation, no nothing. But that made me nervous because that's immediately where my head went to, was that after that writer's strike. And I don't want that to happen to Torres, because I think Torres brought that life back into the team because we got to see him with his mother. We got to see him with his friends that he grew up with. He brought a human side to this team where I think as of late, they started to close him off for some reason. But I remember when the show first started, like, I wasn't a huge Aaron fan. I'm probably a bigger Aaron fan now than I was before because of One Tree
Hill.
Hill.
Go back and rewatch, and I bet you would be.
Thanks a lot, Sophia Bush. Now you made me retroactively miss your character on Chicago PD. But what I liked about her being on there was she brought a realistic human perspective to the show. She brought life to Hank, to Jay. I wanted to call him Jesse, but I knew that wasn't right. To Jay, to all these other people.
Yeah.
And that's the perfect formula. And what I didn't like was in this episode, they tried to make us feel that again by Hank refusing to fill Adam's spot, but we can't be just told it. They need to go through the motions and show us that they genuinely care for the other. Hank didn't want to stop by to see Adam. It's Adam's spot. I refuse to fill a spot. He's family. Why didn't you go see him?
Yeah. I think that's kind of a huge reason why Fire is my favorite, because in Fire we're still at least getting those
I can see that
relationships, and it feels like
it's even balance.
Yeah, because it feels like early on Chicago, still in Chicago Fire. Not
I would agree
100%, but
I would agree with that.
And I think a lot of it is because we still get those stories. We can't just do cases. I mean, that's boring.
Well, along the same lines, like here we're talking about Adam's spot not being filled. It kind of bugged me that we had Trudy pushing that it should be filled.
Yep,
that was odd too.
Trudy, of all people, like even more so than Hank, Trudy's close to Adam. Like she was there, like kind of with Kim in the hospital there. I know it's because Mouch was there too at the end,
which I totally forgot about.
But like, I feel like I don't know her. I mean, Adam pretended to be her fiance. Do we remember this way back when with their dad? Like they're close. So like the idea
to rewatch Chicago PD from season 1.
If you rewatch it, it'll make you sad. Like, let me tell you,
Mo, I can't watch Al die again. Nope, I just remember that.
I think I heard that La Brea is getting canceled, and I even had my thought, maybe can Antonio come back?
He actually was saying something about that. There was an article where he was talking about that. I
would like that. I think like we need something to bring some life back into this, and I hate saying that because Chicago PD is like my favorite show, and it's upsetting that I am not enjoying it like I used to.
But here's the thing too, is that I get on one hand that because I mean, Dick Wolf is known for these incredibly long running legal shows where, I mean, if you're in that position, like intelligence is a very heavy job. It's almost as heavy as the SVU portion is, which I can no longer watch. And that's also the other problem is that when you go for this for so long, you need to make the cases worse and scarier and worse. And then it gets to the point where I physically cannot watch it without crumbling inside. So I can't even watch that anymore. But if maybe what he's trying to show is that they've hardened because of the job, but that's not why we watch your shows. We don't watch your shows to be depressed about real life.
Yeah.
We want to see these relational aspects of it. And what I think that their problem is that as he's going on these, he's starting to make it more like the Law and Order universe, which is not why we started watching PD. That's not why it got the following it did. It wasn't for the cases. It was for relationships. And you get these people like Kevin. When are you going to give Kevin a decent leading storyline? He's been there since day one. The only thing we got was the BLM stuff.
Which
was all twisted and messed up. Give us something with Kevin and his brother or his something. Give him a relationship.
We just want Kevin to be happy, man.
Yes.
But he is such a good actor. And what is his name? Lawrence Hankins? No.
Leroyce Hawkins. Yeah.
Hawkins. Oh, I'm so close.
You were close. You were so close.
Leroyce, I think he's such a dynamic actor, especially in this role, that he can play off, no, I'm going to call you out on your crap, which is what this team needs. And I think they've fallen off of that Kevin aspect a little bit.
Yeah.
I did see this TikTok where people were like, I saw people running. I thought something was going on and this guy was on his cell phone looking panicked. And then they panned over as Leroyce. They're filming Chicago PD, but the person who was filming didn't realize it at first. You saw people running and Leroyce was on the cell phone panicking. Well, I hope that means we're going to get more Kevin, but they tend to, like with this episode, we got all these new cops in. I don't care about those cops. We have not seen our people since May. I care about Kevin and Kim and even Haley. I care about those people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'll tell you like a little something that bugged me. Like, I just want to see little relationship stuff. And it's not because it's just, we know that I'm crazy about Burzak, but like, even like the moment when he's out like training and stuff and like she comes out there, like there was no like little tiny kiss or I love you before they left. Like what?
I know, nothing.
My husband and I don't know about you all, my husband and I we don't leave for the day without a peck and an I love you. This is just what we do every single day. We don't go to bed without that.
Nope.
And really with the job of like they have,
you don't know if it's going to be the last time you see them.
Like, so that would have been, even if we're not ready to say I love you, because I can't remember if we were there yet or not. Again, I would think after this thing, and it's been 6 months, you would be there, but just a little peck or like something to give us, or couldn't we have seen, where's little Michaela could have been out there helping him train, just something to show like the humanized aspect of these characters than just the cops. I also have a complaint. Why, like if Haley leaves, we have no detectives left in the unit other than Hank. Kim,
especially if they won't give Adam his spot, and so he can't stay to be a detective because he can't get a spot back.
Yeah, like what? It's been 11 years now. Don't you think it's time for them to sit for the detective's exam? Like,
which they essentially are anyway. So
yeah,
couldn't we have like made Torres be at detective school or something?
They could, but he's been on furlough. They've already said that, so they can't like switch it unless they're all lying to their team.
They should.
And maybe I hope Benjamin just maybe had a project he had signed up to.
Man, I hope so.
And he's gonna be back.
Torres, please don't leave.
But I don't know. We need to work on the relationships of this because I'm getting. I don't know. I think I'm just like, why can't they go to Molly's? Like, you're telling me the cops don't ever go to Molly's anymore? Like, COVID has been over. Like, I think we can get back to like all of this. I'm just saying.
And I get that I'm hoping anyway that this is just an adjustment episode where we have to get back into the swing of things. We have a lot that we have to cover if we want to stay on track with what our end season is going to be. We have to push a lot in this episode. I would get that, but it didn't feel like what it felt like was it was a lot of verbal information thrown at us right at the beginning to explain away some things we didn't see.
Yeah.
And then nothing but Haley doing things wrong. Like, so I do want to bring up that because that's a problem that I had with Haley. And I was at the end when she's like, I missed it. I was like, everybody but you. Like, everybody knew what was happening. Everyone knew it wasn't that guy. He clearly was not mentally sound enough to be responsible for this.
Yeah.
But they made her like it because I think they wanted to give us the impression that she was thinking about her divorce with Jay and the papers, but that didn't play out well.
Well, here's like, I have an issue with that in general. Why are we even having her and Jay get divorced if she's leaving this season?
Yes, it's a big issue for
me. Like,
I was mad about that.
I'm very confused of why they're doing half the things that they're doing.
Like, why couldn't we just like end them happy then? Like, she goes to join him, and then then we can at least know that they're existing
And maybe they
happily
still
off our
can.
screen.
They still
I
can.
guess
It's not
I
too
just feel
late.
like
They still can.
yeah, and maybe they will. I don't know.
I think I sort of get the reasons why, and this is not to say at all I didn't enjoy it. Like I missed
Oh, I
these
did
people.
too.
I
Yeah.
enjoyed the show. I enjoyed
yeah.
following the cases. What I didn't like is I felt like we got a dumbed down version of what PD usually is. And maybe it is. I sincerely hope it is because it's there. We're getting back into the swing of things episode. Maybe next week. I mean, we saw Adam at the poker table.
We already know next week's gonna be better.
If that man gets shot again,
No,
I'm gonna
they
find
won't
it.
do
I'm
that.
gonna find it hysterical. And that's not because I hate Adam. It's because seriously, find someone your own size to pick on.
Stop putting holes in those boys.
Stop putting baby in the corner. He doesn't deserve it.
Oh no.
So I think it'll be more, but even that, it didn't seem very, I want to see them together. I want to see the team building. I don't want to see Hank barking orders as he walks to his office. I don't want to see Haley shutting everyone out and storming out. I don't want to see Kim in and out. I want to see them together.
Mm-hmm. We want to see the team.
Yes.
All in the same room at the
Yes.
same time. Yes, please.
And give the people a backstory in these episodes so we're not just watching horrible crimes play out.
No, it's getting a little bit too political and stuff like that. They gotta pull back from that.
Yes. And I think with the Jay Haley storyline, I think part of it is they're trying to say, well, it's the cases that are getting to her. She doesn't have Jay to fall back on. So that's her reason to leave. But the divorce doesn't have to be the reason she leaves. The cases are enough. Loving her husband is enough. Wanting to be with her husband is enough. Why do you have to destroy them for her to realize how much she wants him? I don't like that tendency in a lot of dramas to I get it's a drama. I just heard it, but you don't have to fully destroy a relationship when they leave. We watch dramas so we can see how they play out and be happy. I mean, it's why we read a lot of the books that we read because we like the angst with the happy ending.
And why does she just have her divorce papers just sitting on her desk? So like, look at me.
And then mad at people for saying it. Like, did you not notice there wasn't a wall?
Jeez, that was sorry. We were just like sitting here bashing Chicago.
I
feel like we don't.
We never do this.
We do usually, but it's only the shows that we really love that we get mad about because we're so invested in these people.
Oh, yeah.
And the writing has made us fall in love with the show and with these characters, and we know how much better they can be and how much better they can do. And so I like this episode. It wasn't what I was hoping after that long drought of Chicago PD. I wanted more because we were so long without it.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's really a compliment, right?
Just
yeah, I think so.
It's a backhanded compliment, but it's still a compliment.
Compliment still in the name.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, okay, so we've been talking about things we didn't like. So what do we want to see this season? Like, what are some of our ideas of what we hope is going to happen and what will make us happy?
Just bring back the relational aspect. I want to see more of our characters. I still want the cases because that's interesting to me. It's psychological, but to see the team authentically get into the cases and the psychology behind it, they need to talk. They need to have a realization in their own, and that's something they used to do, right?
Yeah,
the
they need to
realization
work
in their
together.
own life. Yeah.
So maybe we need the writers to go back and do a rewatch of the early seasons of Chicago PD and just do a little something like that.
With less killing off of our characters, though. Don't keep doing that. I'm glad that stopped. I'm very glad they stopped.
You know what? I was very proud of them for having such a long drought and not killing anybody the first chance that they got.
Because it all happened on fire.
Nobody died.
And
nobody died.
Not this year.
I know.
But that's when they were dying.
I know. So we have done good of not like people dying. But I mean, I guess something like we said it though. Haley is leaving. Can she just leave in a good place? Like, can I hope for that? Can we be happy when we move on?
Jay and Aaron got that.
Yeah.
Are you gonna not give Haley one because Aaron was Jay's first girl? That seems mean.
No, that is mean.
Hey, Aaron had an excuse. I'm just leave her alone.
And actually, since people have thrown out that crazy idea of Antonio coming back, that would actually be kind of cool. I actually would not be mad if he decided to come back to Chicago PD.
He wasn't my favorite when he was on there. I didn't really like his character because his character was kind of bleh. But I feel like he might breathe more humanity into the team.
Yeah. I went up
Same.
and down with him a lot of times. So there were times when I really enjoyed Antonio, and then there were
But if
times
he
that I
comes
didn't.
back, can Gabby come back?
No,
Yeah, no,
Why?
No.
Sylvie's
yes.
leaving.
I
Yeah.
don't like Gabby.
That would be
Why?
perfect because like Violet needs somebody else to be on.
Not Gabby.
Well,
Why not Gabby?
She's awful.
We like Gabby. I like Gabby.
No,
Yeah,
we
I
don't
like
like
Gabby.
Gabby
Well,
We
we
don't
do.
like Gabby.
We
No, we
do.
don't.
I
Why
do.
don't we like Gabby?
because she's an awful human.
No, she's
That's
not. She's
really
building
mean,
houses
Violet.
for people, isn't she? What's she doing?
Yes, to
Think so.
ease her ego.
Something human. Yeah.
She's
yeah,
doing something
nice.
humanitarian.
I don't like her.
I like her.
Well, that brought the conversation to a screeching halt.
Thanks a lot. Jeez.
Just
But I
got,
do like-
got my hopes just crushed.
I was excited.
And that's not to say anything bad about the guy who plays Antonio, because I was actually really excited to see him on here because I fell in love with him when he was on Selena.
Well, didn't
That
we
was
all?
Yes. So I love that actor. I would like to see him back because I like the actor, but I think the character of I think they also kind of ruined the character of Antonio near the end of him leaving. And so it was the last year or so when he was on there, I was like, dude, I can't stand you.
No, I remember not liking him.
But he was in a bad place
I know.
emotionally, and there's been enough time that he could have fully came back from that, and we could have a new Antonio coming back and like he
I
was
agree.
in the beginning. So
he can
I would
definitely
love
come
that.
back.
I agree with
think-
that completely.
But he would have to like not be the same Antonio as when he left.
Yeah.
And he would
That's
even
the
have to
only
have
way.
grown from when he was first on there a little bit. I mean, it's impossible not to, right?
I hope he would have.
Hope so.
And he's a detective,
yes.
but still give the others their detective exams.
All three of them. It's
Like,
time to
why
go
is
ahead and-
Kevin not a detective at least?
They've all been on this team for 10 years. How did they? No, this is the 11th year, right?
Yeah. Granted, Kevin was patrol cop, so Kevin has been in the PD longer because Adam was plucked straight from
Kim too.
Academy.
And Kim was like only in her first.
No, Kim was a patrol cop, and she took long. So Kevin should be the first, in my opinion, to move on up.
Yeah, I'm thinking
Because Kim and
Kim, Adam,
yes,
in that order.
And honestly, though, Kim and Adam have been shot enough times that I think it's time. You just get that raise just
Reward them.
simply because of that.
After 6
they've
holes in
earned
you,
it.
you get a detective badge.
Don't you think? I think you've earned it at that point.
I think I wonder why they're the most brutalized couple on the show.
Because they're the toughest and the best, and they can take it, I guess. I don't know, but it's
I
pretty
think
terrible.
Taurus is pretty great. I will say though, I want Taurus back, but you better not give him a love story before you give Kevin one. That is, Kevin deserves a freaking love story before anybody else gets a new love story.
Gosh, I know.
Speaking of love stories, you know what I want for this season?
Cece?
Or the beginning of next season? Burzek wedding. It is time for these two to be married and live happily ever after.
I feel like they're going to take longer to do the marriage
Why?
because I
You
feel like
literally have a
the way
family
Kim,
already.
I feel like the way
Because
Kim
her.
and
It's not Adam.
I think
Kim
she has a lot
has-
of fear.
I know.
Kim
But
has
I-
commitment issues.
She
Not
does,
anymore, though. I think we're good.
but I think wow. But I think the way
No,
Kim and
really.
Adam are, it's not that it would be any indication of how they feel about each other. But I feel like it would almost be like, well, if we get married, that kind of sets us up for worse things to happen. So I feel like they would take their time getting to the altar. I think that they wouldn't need to do that as fast. I'm
Maybe
okay with that.
Michaela can convince them that they should get married.
I mean, what I don't want to see, because it's just not the show's MO. I don't want to see a big flashy wedding, even like the one on, like I would like to see just Michaela, Adam, and Kim at a courthouse.
And
Just
Kevin.
See, I think-
Kevin's got to be there too.
well, yeah, their team. But I mean, I don't want to see a big wedding. I don't want to
I'm
see the
fine
white
with that.
dress. Even I just want to see like
I'm cool with
because
that.
that would be more to who they are. I think.
Yeah,
No, see, I'd
I'm
like
fine
a
with
small
that.
wedding. Nothing,
I mean-
nothing big. But I would love to see Kim just like kind of how we got to see Stella just in
Oh,
that
see.
pretty gown, like made up.
It
Like
just doesn't
she
seem like her though.
I know, but it's
Well,
like
I
nice
don't
to
know.
see them being like,
I think it sounds like old Kim, and I think she's just been through a lot. So it would kind of be nice to see her to get back to that.
just one day of her just. And you know what? Throw something in cool. Have something happen at the wedding and get blood all over the dress. I don't care. I just want to see her like starting to
I
walk
think it
down
would
the.
be nice.
Because
Michaela
Michaela needs more
is pretty
traumatization.
The kid is tough. She can get through anything.
She's fine.
That
She's
doesn't
just
mean
gonna,
you keep trying to see how much she can handle.
she'll save Kim at this point.
That poor child. Man, like I could see like a renewal, but for the original wedding, I would like it to just see the things that are most important to them, which is just their team who is their only family now. I mean, for all of them, that's
No,
yeah.
see, I
Kevin
picture
has
a
his
very
brother,
small
but
wedding. Like, I mean, guest list included. Like,
Yeah.
super quaint.
Even if it's just like a
But-
backyard wedding or something, like yeah.
Amanda, Jeanette, what do you guys hope to see in the future for the show?
I think everything you said, like I said, Bird's
No,
Eye
I think-
wedding for sure. Like, I don't know if it has to happen right
Haley
away.
gone.
Look, but Haley gone for me. Haley gone happy because I'm like
Mhm.
I'm really done with like because like I felt bad for her this episode. Like I legit felt terrible. So I want to see her somehow find some peace and like move on with her life.
I understand she can be sad, but it's so unbelievable to me because she didn't even show her emotions like this to Jay when they were like dating or in a relationship or anything. Now she's all of a sudden got all these big emotions now that they're getting a divorce after she hasn't seen him for a year and a half. It makes absolutely no sense. That's all.
Dang.
I didn't like Haley.
I do not like Haley.
I didn't like her when she first came on because I thought she held herself as if she was better than everybody, and that
Always
annoyed
has.
the crap out of me. But I felt like when she got with Jay toned that down in her quite a bit. So I actually started to like Haley a
I don't
lot.
like him either.
But then when she and Hank did that unbelievable thing that she spiraled and she never recovered. And so I don't hate her at all anymore, but I'm just kind of like, I wish you weren't such a downer all the time.
I don't hate her. I wouldn't say hate. I don't hate her. I'm just not gonna miss her. And that has nothing to say
I
about
will
the
a
actress
little.
either, because
don't
I
think
do
I'm gonna
like the
miss her.
actress. It's what has been written for her, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll miss her.
You know what I'm missing? I'm missing some good Hank.
Yes. He's gotten so
scene.
soft.
We
Like,
missed the
where did
cage?
Hank?
Maybe we missed the
I
cage.
forget that he's like in the show
Scary.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know if they're doing it on purpose. Like, is he starting to fade out?
I mean, he might.
Is he going to be fading out? So I don't know. And if
Well,
that's the case, if he is going to leave, then don't give me any more.
Well, he can't fade out too soon because we legit have no detectives to even try to step into his spot.
Yeah.
So like he can't fade out.
This would be like Brooklyn Nine-Nine when their chief was out and they just had a rotating roll of various chiefs coming in and they all were awful and terrible and never worked out.
Yeah, I don't know. I would like to see more Hank as long as he's going to stay for the next couple of years. I would like to see more Hank and more dirty Hank. Does that make sense?
I don't miss the dirty Hank, but I miss the scary Hank where he didn't play dirty, but he was like, no, this is what's happening because I say it is. That I don't even know that I missed that. I just
I miss the cage.
He used to be a force of nature and now he's gotten softer. Like so much softer. I miss his rough I don't miss the illegal stuff that he did, but I miss his rougher edge. I do think that this show, all that to say, like, I think the show has got good writers. I think Dick Wolf has a great track record with shows. I think that Chicago PD, I like that it is not as gritty as his other law shows so that I can actually continue to watch it. I just think that he has to put more relationship into it, more humanity into it, or it's going to end up being a show that people cannot watch with regularity.
I agree.
So I think on that note, we're going to jump into fire.
We're going to jump into fire.
Which I think this was probably my favorite episode this week was the fire episode.
Yeah.
Oh, no, it for sure was.
And I
Except that
never
little
think-
thing they did at the beginning where they like took Mouch's name off his locker. What was that?
Why?
That was so.
And then he like walked in. So why was the guy taking his name off the locker when like Mouch is there? Like that
And
was
the way Herman reacted
weird.
to it, like, come on.
We don't do like why would you make us think he's dead for like a second and then he walked? It made
That's not actual
made me
drama.
mad.
That's just infuriating because you're treating your watchers like they're dummies, and we're
I
not
was
stupid.
Like I had a pure panic. Like, are you serious right
did
now?
too.
Like, this is how you're gonna kill off Mouch? Is like in a break? Are you freaking kidding? And then he walked in and I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, we're cool.
But we're not cool, Dick Wolf.
I got so mad so fast. Like I had my phone out ready to say somebody needs to turn on fire right now and watch with me.
Well, I mean, in all of these shows, I feel like they tried to do that. Like You don't need
That's
to
what
create
that's- yeah.
suspense when it's already a show about fire and rescue. Suspense doesn't need to be created in that way. Just start a fire somewhere and you've got it.
And really how old like
Yeah.
Herman and Mouch are getting. Like,
I know.
It didn't like surprise me. I was like, oh God, here it. Nope, he's still there. Okay, we're good.
I'm telling you right now, man, if Herman freaked me out this episode. If they take
I'm
that man
stressed
out
about him.
in any way other than him retiring, I'm going to flip my crap.
After everything him and Cindy have been through, if they kill him off, I'll be
Oh, I'm gonna be so mad. I'll be
It would be
so
rude.
enraged.
But that was
Him or
that
Mouch.
was scary. I will say though, and Amanda's gonna feel me on this, okay? I was not upset with Severide's return.
Oh, I
to
was
the
very
show.
uncomfortable.
not.
I was
I
very
told you.
uncomfortable.
I said, "Oh, I warned you. I warned you in the chat."
I know
said,
you did. So I was
Maureen's
immediately
gonna
looking
run.
down after the recap. I just put my head down.
Why did you just miss all
I
that
said,
glory in us?
Oh, he's back. And I'm not even into Severide really, but I was like, this is nice.
I was
I
just more
missed
gazing at
this.
Stella at this point. Sorry.
I mean, I've missed
She's
that. I'm
so
like,
beautiful.
she is.
Mm-hmm.
Why
I didn't
couldn't
think she could
Adam
be
and
such a
Kim
big bee in real life. I'm sorry about this.
not to go back, but this is what I'm talking about. Why can't Adam and Kim have some shower scenes?
Because Fire is the one that has maintained the relationship stuff in their show
That's
throughout.
what I want. When I say I want their relationship to progress, this is what I mean. I
mean,
need them
I
in
don't
the
need to see
shower
those
together,
kind of scenes.
please.
I
We
don't
got
need
like
that.
one
Just
Kim
every
and
once in a
Adam
while.
scene last season. Like one.
Oh, you don't know. That's not what I
And that wasn't even that. I mean, like,
It was hot. I mean,
I don't need that stuff.
I mean, it was. I will admit. You want to know what I did? I
No.
went back and rewatched it again
boy.
just the other day. I was just like, you know what? I need to watch that again. I did.
I don't need those scenes. I just want to see them be in love and
Well, the rest of us
fight
do.
and be normal.
So take one for the team, okay? The rest of us really.
I'll
need
watch
these
it for
scenes.
you.
I do like that Severide's back. I feel like he just brings the kind of energy that I think that we were missing in PD, like what Torres and Antonio would bring to PD. Severide brings that, and I don't think that Fire was lacking while he was gone. I missed him, but just because I like Taylor Kinney, and I like he has. My husband was laughing. He's like, is it a requirement of the Chicago shows where everyone has like a weird voice? Because we have Hank with his crazy voice, and then we have Bone and Severide who have the weird voices. So I did kind of miss hearing his voice in the mix there.
Yeah,
but I think I was glad to see him back. I didn't realize how much I missed, and I was glad to see him looking like he's thriving.
Yeah, he does look. He looks so good.
Yeah, he does.
And I'm glad him and Scylla seem like. I mean, I know they had a little bit of like, but for the most part, I think they're in their place. I think she's still a little cautious, and she's still a little worried about what could happen. But they
don't
seem
blame her.
good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't blame her either, and so that's why, like, and I think he was even handling her cautiousness in a healthy sort of way.
Yeah,
like he wasn't necessarily letting her like run the show and say, "Okay, I won't do it if you don't want me to," but he was being understanding of why she was. And hopefully if he does continue to pursue this OFI and like this arson stuff, he will keep in mind like what she's feeling and like, I don't know, just be more aware of that. And I think that I think it'll be okay. I don't know.
I don't like how they explained away his absence. I wish they would have done something a little bit different with his absence. I thought that was kind of lazy.
Yeah.
How they did that, really, he was just off on an OFI case, because we've watched him do OFI cases for a while now, and never once did he get so caught up that he stopped talking completely to Stella. I thought that was a little like, really? This is what we're doing?
It was a stretch.
Yeah. But I do agree. I think he has handled his relationship with Stella. I think him and Stella's relationship is one of my favorites to watch, because it seems so healthy in terms of communication up until he left, which I think they should have explained away better than what they did. But there was one point when he was talking to Van Meter, and he said something about, "Oh, I haven't seen you around again. Are you sure you don't want this?" And I yelled at the TV, "No, because he loves his wife. Leave him alone."
Yeah, stop it, right? Yeah, no.
And then I did like I didn't like, the one thing that I was a little upset with Stella was he can do, and again, this is because of how they wrote away his absence. But we have seen him consistently do OFI and Firehouse 51 and be fine and not get lost in it. So I don't like that they're using this to pull him away from that, because I loved watching the OFI stuff.
Yeah,
I thought it was good.
I agree.
And I mean,
it gave him like a
purpose,
a different purpose.
Yeah.
So it's not monotonous.
Yeah.
No, I agree. And I mean, but again, like I said, with me, like Amanda said, like, I don't necessarily blame her because I think the way they wrote it at the end of last season, that's why she's cautious because I don't
Exactly.
think she ever cared him doing this before. So I don't know. I honestly just don't even want to see that be an issue anymore. I want
agree.
us moved past that. We've discussed it.
It's been 6
Let's
months.
be done with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's over.
This 6-month thing allowed them to push old stories along, tidy them up,
Yeah.
and start something new.
Yeah.
And I feel like Fire was the only show really this week that took
Sort of.
advantage of that.
Yeah.
I can't
agree.
speak for Med very much, but I know at least for PD they did not take advantage of that.
Yeah.
But Fire they did.
Yeah. I like, and even with like Gallo, I'm just so sad
pretty
to hear that
sad,
he was
actually.
leaving. I did not like, because he was such an asset to the show. We got to watch him grow. We watched him be funny. We watched him be serious. We watched him be adventurous. And in this show, in order for it to not be monotonous, you need adventurous. And I think that Carter might be up there at some point. It was Gallo who is currently there, who brought that adventure to it. I mean, yeah, they're already fighting fires, but he took risks. He took calculated risks. It was fun to see. So that's one reason I miss him. But I also really like that actor. It's Alberto Rosende, right?
Yeah. And I mean,
know
I
him.
appreciate that Alberto came and did one last scene, but I might be in the minority. I wish he hadn't. Because I think I could move past them just talking about, Gallo left to be closer to his aunt, whatever. I was good until he walked into that firehouse and Ritter and Violet got teared up, and then I cried too. Like, I think I would have been okay if I didn't get to see his face. Like,
yeah, but it's Dick Wolf, so
I know. So it's like you just did it to be mean. Like, I appreciate, like, I mean, I was okay with it. I had come to terms with the fact that Gallo's leaving. Okay. Half of the episode goes by and I'm like, you know what? I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this. And then they showed his beautiful little, sweet little face walking in. And I was just like, no, like, I'm not okay with this, actually.
Especially given how the last season ended, and there's a 6-month time jump, we could have very easily understood, okay. And we all
He's
kind of
already
thought it was
gone.
going that way. We were already talking about that last season in the finale of, is he going to go be with his aunt? Like, we were already talking about that because they introduced this long lost family member. We didn't need to hear him say, I have cousins I don't know about. I'm an uncle. Like, we didn't need to hear all that stuff be said. He didn't say he's an uncle because that's impossible. But we didn't need that stuff said. It could have just been explained away. And it didn't even really have to be explained so much as a mention of, Gallo's doing really well with his aunt. Could have just something like that. Because the way they ended his storyline last season, it would have made more sense than having him show up for one more episode just to grab a tool.
Yeah, it was unnecessary. And I think they had good intentions.
Yeah, they did. And I think Alberto probably wanted to honor his obligations, and he wanted to I think say goodbye to the fandom and goodbye, because when you hear him talk in interviews and stuff, he's very empathetic to the fandom. He's very kind to the fandom. He's very much, we want to make you happy. So I think that's why he did it. But I think that it was unnecessary, unfortunately, in this case.
I'm gonna get sad just thinking about it. I don't want to talk.
I really, really liked Gallo's
I'm
character
actually really
a lot.
sad.
I did too. All
See,
right.
I'm okay with it just because we did have this long break. I feel like the
love
break
his
helped me a
character so
lot
much.
with getting over people.
They did solve a problem for us though, because now they're pushing Hanako and Carter,
which I am okay. I've said I've been okay with it because
we were with it last year too.
He's my new fire guy. He has been.
Did you feel like he was sort of absent this episode? Like he was mentioned a lot, but he didn't have. I can't even remember a single line he said.
Oh yeah, because there was stuff with him. There was Violet. There had plenty interactions because there was even the stuff about Brett trying to ask about the wedding, about how Violet wasn't bringing a date either. Like,
and I remember him like by the coffee machine when Herman couldn't find his coffee.
He was there. He definitely wasn't the focus. I mean, we definitely took a step back and let some other people be the focus of the episode, which is okay.
Okay, here's one thing I didn't like about the episode. They have all these people leaving Fire, right? They have leaving 51. Kylie, why did you even have her show up just to say she decided to go out on her own and spread her wings? And she just came in there for a millisecond, completely decked out in her fire gear. So she's on her way to a fire, on her way back from a fire.
Yeah.
Just to see Mouch. That was like, why are you doing that?
I kind of hope that Kylie might end up
Yep.
now that we've got some open spots, but I don't know. I mean, because I know we're getting a new fire guy, which I'm assuming he's the guy that's going to go on truck.
Yeah.
He's some guy. He's been on How I Got Away with Murder. He's a really good actor, really cute. So like, it's gonna be good news for everybody. I know we're gonna need a paramedic, but Kylie's not a paramedic, so I mean,
Yeah.
I don't,
I just felt like we spent so much time developing Kylie and putting her in our faces
seasons and
to have her go somewhere else just feels like, well, why did we do that?
And why, again, the same thing with Gallo. If we were going to have her go somewhere else, why have her come in? Just say
exactly.
Like,
we didn't. We are because in the recap they said she has to wait for her number to be called by a firehouse. So we didn't. That was already tidied up last season. We didn't need to see it. We could have just been like, yeah, Kylie's doing well over at Station House, so and so,
somewhere wherever she is. Yeah.
Yes. I agree with that.
I thought that fell super flat and really awkward for her to just come up for a millisecond and then leave. It was dumb.
Yeah, I agree.
But I did like the storyline there. It was interesting. I think that the purple smoke was something I did not know. People, please do not try to recreate that.
Yeah.
Almost took away my Herman. And I was like, you cannot give Cindy cancer and then kill off my Herman.
Maureen, I'm still worried. When Ritter talked to him at the end, there was something off about that conversation, and I don't know what it is.
Ooh,
but
I'm getting so emotional just thinking, like, I'm near tears right now. I thought that too. There's something off.
And maybe it's nothing wrong. Maybe Herman is going to retire. Maybe something in him is realizing,
I would be okay with that.
Maybe he's realizing, like, okay, there's too many close calls here lately. I want to go be with my family, and I think I would be okay with. Don't get me wrong, we lose Herman, we're gonna lose a huge,
I love that man,
part of the show that's important to us, but
he can go and run Molly's.
Rather that than see him die.
Right, we can still see him. I mean, him and Mouch both are part owners of Molly, so even if they leave, we can still have them in the show, here and there, without being like,
not like every episode, but like, I
would so take that. I would 100% rather that than you killing either Mouch or Herman off. Do not kill them off. They have lasted this long in the fire department. You cannot kill them off now. The only thing sad is that Herman, he hasn't had his lieutenant's position for that long. So that would kind of be a bummer. But again, I think life is more important than holding a position.
Yes. And I think maybe he's realizing.
I mean, he got it. He earned it.
Yeah, he earned it. So he'll retire with that title. So I mean, like, there's that, I guess.
And did you sort of feel like a torch was starting to be passed, like with Ritter? Like, I felt like the way they were fighting over him and the way Joe and Herman were talking to him, I felt like Ritter was being prepared to do something bigger within the same firehouse. Like, I felt like torch was almost like,
I hope so,
being passed.
Amy, I love Ritter, so I mean,
I do too.
Yeah.
And I love Violet. So I'm interested to see. We haven't heard anything about a new paramedic, have we?
We haven't.
Just the
and
fireman.
I haven't heard of anybody else joining. But I don't know how long Sylvie is going to be there. Is it the whole season?
The season, yeah.
Oh,
she's probably only 10 or 13 episodes.
I kind of want to see their wedding. Give us. I mean, I want to. It's definitely her to have a huge wedding.
Absolutely.
And plus, not even about Sylvie. About Casey. We've known Casey much longer. He deserves this happy ending. Like, did you all notice in her locker the little family photo that had him and the boys and her holding Julia? There was a cute little family photo in her locker.
I didn't see it.
I didn't see it either.
It was so sweet. It was when it was in the beginning. And they showed her closing her lock, and like the locker door was open. You'll have to go look. It was sweet. And it was nice to show her holding Julia with Matt and the boys. Like, it was sweet.
Now, there are things about fire that I think I pay a lot more attention to, the little things that they slip in there that seem like, why was that in there?
Yeah.
Because I feel like it almost always comes back in someone's death. Like, they always leave clues, and it makes me nervous. So with Herman, it was the end conversation with Ritter. With Mouch, it was the tape. And those things had me very nervous. Like, why would you have that tape? Either you think we're complete morons or you're preparing us for something. And then when Sylvie gets her ring caught in her locker,
I think
Violet was like, "Oh, I got it for you," and then Sylvie's like, "Oh, you're my hero." Like, oh, that felt like a weird interaction.
I don't know. I think the ring was just simply for us to see the big old rock that Casey got her on her finger. I think that's all it was.
I think that's all it was.
Because I also don't know why you were wearing that ring on the job.
Right?
Like, take that off and put it like on your necklace or do something like to get it you shouldn't be wearing that on the job, in my opinion. Not in the job.
Not their line of work.
I mean, doctors don't wear rings and stuff like that. They
do for consultations, but not when they're actually like working.
Not
with
when
you
they're
in the
working,
ER or whatever.
Yeah.
Like my doctor, when you're in his office, he has his wedding ring on, but when he delivered my child, he didn't have his wedding ring on.
No, because I mean, especially a big diamond. Like, I mean, it's not even just a band. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's like sanitary wise, anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you can't wear nail polish in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Don't wear things that can fall inside a person's body when you might have an open body part in front of you.
I think I lost my wedding ring. Can I just be back up? My wife will kill me.
Right.
I swear it's inside Paul. Oh, first name came in my head. Sorry.
Oh, I thought this was a show that this happened on. I was so confused.
No.
This is random.
The Amanda Show.
I love the Amanda
actually,
show.
not the real Amanda Show.
That was an actual show. Though,
I know. I was gonna say, well, I did like the little like thing with their sharing the firehouse too. That gave us a lot of content.
I could have been okay, but like I feel like
it was forced a little bit.
It was, and what was the point? Because we didn't even we met that one guy briefly. Like we didn't even like. I don't know. There was no connection to him, even just for the
point was the
episode,
end arson story for Severide to figure out it was their department that was targeted. That was the whole point.
That was the point. But...
What I liked about that, the reason I started laughing when you said that is because the guy was like, what I don't understand is why things that are labeled Firehouse 17 keep getting eaten and mysteriously gone. Like, we would never eat yours, and those are stale anyways.
Exactly.
That's what made me love it. It's the
Who
little.
said that? Was that
Herman?
Carver, or who was it?
I don't remember who said
Herman?
it. It might have been Herman.
I think it was Herman who said, and they're stale anyways.
So I did enjoy that part, to just see that, and that I do like that. I wish that they wouldn't show how antagonistic all the firehouses are to each other, but also with like Bowden, I felt like this felt like the end of The Resident for me a little bit with some of the characters. I felt like Bowden was even a little bit like starting to say goodbye.
Yep.
Yeah.
When he was like, we're different at 51. We're a family.
Once you're part of 51, you'll always be a part of 51.
Dude, are you going somewhere too, man? I don't like it. Like, how many people are we losing?
I mean, we're talking, not to jump ahead to the preview a little bit, but like, are we going to lose Joe? Like, we can't,
right?
That will bother me if Severide does come, like, that will bother me. But you know what? This is true to Severide's character, for him to waltz back in and just be all Mr. Bossy Pants again.
But it is also his position.
But I think there's a way to do it, knowing that
agree.
You took off to do this and Joe stepped in and did it's not fair to Joe either. Like, we need to figure something out that is fair to both of them, in my opinion.
But also in their line of work, you do need to have a very strict and firm line of command that you have to follow.
I agree with that.
So I think that that's what Severide, because there's a lot of times when they've shown previews like this and it makes Severide look really, really awful, but it's actually not as bad. It's just him following like, no, this is the order and this is the way we have to go.
But we also know that Severide will come in there and be all like, he'll be.
We need to see a conversation happen with him and Joe, with him being like, hey, dude, I respect what you did. I appreciate what you did. That needs to happen for sure.
Yeah. I think honestly with the right, I think anything can happen is all I'm saying.
Yeah. What if, Joe loves Squad so much, but what if Herman does retire and Joe takes his lieutenant's thing and he takes over the truck? But he loves Squad so much that might not.
Say Joe's just like equal Squad to me at this point.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's the only way I can see. I mean, how else are they going to make him stay then? What would Bowden offer him to make him stay when he says, I want to leave?
Bowden leaves. Kelly takes Bowden's spot. And Joe continues to be lieutenant on Squad.
Okay.
I always thought that Kelly, honestly, like, I mean, that's why I hate that they've made this OFI as like a villain for Stellaride, because I always thought that like Severide should move to OFI.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And literally just be a fire cop, is like we like to call it. Like,
I like that a lot. They would. I would too. I wouldn't mind him going to
but
be.
But then
like
you'd have to make OFI a much more part of Chicago Fire.
I think I'd like.
I would too.
Like, I'm
especially
okay with
that. Fire is so good with the relational aspect.
Yeah,
and we've had
Fire just going to turn into just OFI.
No,
because every single case going to be OFI.
I don't think it has
Kelly.
Because Kelly is married to Stella, we can keep him involved without every case being like.
That's true.
OFI.
And he
You
can
know?
even
They can
come
make
and be
like
like,
discussions and
yeah.
something.
And he could even come into the firehouse and be like, hey, I'm investigating this. What do you think about this? Asking her opinion and stuff like that. Because he did say to her, we're doing this together. This is our
Yeah.
thing. So, but I don't think Stella does not seem OFI to me. So I don't think they'll
No.
pull her there. I do think, I think I would like to see him over there. And maybe Taylor Kinney, maybe he doesn't want to be in so many episodes. Maybe he wants to maintain just a bit of distance. So moving him to OFI would make more sense in that case.
Yeah. Now, if
I
he
would
is
like
wanting
that
to
much
come
more.
out a little bit, then OFI is definitely the case to go.
Mhm.
I just don't want fire to turn into every single fire leading
Oh, me
to
either.
OFI.
No.
That would drive me insane.
No, I agree.
But there does, I mean, a lot of fires do require OFI to step in too.
Yeah.
Well, and it doesn't always have to be some giant case that takes the whole episode either, because we see multiple incidents happen on episodes. It could be just a little quick something, like sometimes we see just an ambo case that takes like 10 minutes. Like we could have like, I don't know, I feel like there could be like ways to make this happen.
There was
I
one thing
agree.
about this episode that I was like, wait, that feels like an opportunity missed. When they were called up to that accident
Mhm.
and somebody said, I think it was Carver said, does anyone else feel like we're walking into a trap? I was like, okay, yeah, let's go with that. What are you gonna do here? But then we just got that. Oh, and then that was really out of character for Violet too. To scream like that when you saw, like, I feel like you've seen worse things.
Probably.
Yeah. That
But
for
you
me,
scream like
I
a
didn't.
girl with that. I felt like that was
Yeah.
just to like make Carver be like, oh, Violet's a cute girl. Like, no.
Because Violet's not a cute girl. Like that's
She
not
is,
her
but-
character. Like she's tough.
No, she's a
like,
badass. Is what
Yeah,
she
and I think that's
is.
what I'm saying. Like Sylvie,
Yeah.
sometimes a cute little girl, which is
Yeah.
okay. But like Violet's not. Violet's not. We're not going to show our
Bella's-
emotions. She's
Bella.
not tough. She's not.
Violet's
she's
like
tough,
Stella.
yeah,
She's just kind
Yeah.
of one of the guys.
yeah. I mean, like I think so. Don't change her just because we're going to try to get like
Agreed.
Like
Yeah.
don't do that. He needs to like her for who she is. Then
Mm-hmm. I get like jumping because you were startled, like you thought
Yeah.
the guy was dead, and
Which
Yeah,
also,
but
what
why
kind
scream?
of what kind of like
We could be
paramedic
jumps.
would say that without checking first?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Like I mean,
His brain wasn't even exposed. It was just his skull. Like his skin was ripped off. Like,
stuff
yeah.
happens. Like yeah,
I mean,
don't
it
know.
sounds. I'm
bad.
making it sound like this happens all the time. It's sort of
No, but
normal.
I mean, like
I
I've
just
never-
see a little bit of his skull. It's nothing
like
serious.
she's a
My
medical
gosh.
professional though. Like check his
Yes,
pulse before you make
yes.
that call. Like
Absolutely.
It was very out of character for her.
yeah.
Especially since all they saw was like a bone sticking through his leg, which again, awful, but not life threatening.
No.
Well, not necessarily life threatening.
Yeah.
I don't know anything medical. I shouldn't be saying stuff like this, but I feel like
I feel like we've
worst
seen
thing.
worse. We've seen worse on our shows.
Yes.
Well, you
So
know
we
what?
can
If you would have
imagine.
watched Grey's Anatomy, maybe you would know this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
more.
me and
No,
Amanda
I'm
are
just
thank you.
saying.
Nope,
We
not
know what we're
gonna
talking
happen.
about.
We know what we're talking about.
I'm not watching 20 seasons of anything from the beginning. No,
I don't blame you, honestly.
Just watch the
So,
first 10.
It's a
No.
lot.
no,
Just the first. Just
You
the
can
first.
jump in. Honestly,
10.
you can
not even
jump
the
in
first
with
one.
us.
No,
Because Amanda, like we've kind of restarted with like new interns. You could just jump in now.
you know what the bummer is? The real bummer here is we have a max of 3 people on a podcast, and you, Amanda, and Eve. I mean, you guys, you're in Grace every week. Oh shucks,
You don't have to be on the
can't.
podcast.
No,
You can just watch.
Then you know she watches. She's gonna want to be on a podcast.
I think that's all I really want to see for the future of the show is just to keep the relational. I would like to see everyone get in their spots because I think
Yeah.
Fire is such an established place. They
Mhm.
already have their roles, their designated positions. I would like to see people be moved where they're going to go. If we're going to remove people from the show, I would like it to happen naturally. Do not kill off any more of my people. Fire has
Yeah.
killed off more of my people than any other Chicago show. And I would like that to not happen again because I'm invested in these people.
Yes, agreed.
Let's say for me.
No,
I
agree
think
with
I
that.
pretty much agree with you. I don't know really what I'm wanting out of Fire this year. I'm wanting to maintain some relationships, but I would
Yeah.
like some new people. That would
Yeah,
be
we need new people.
that would
Yeah.
be nice. But I don't want I was gonna say I don't want drama. I don't want drama within the firehouse. I'm tired of that.
Yes. Yes.
I
Drama
agree.
outside. Have them band together continually.
Kind of
all
the same
season.
kind of thing we said with PD. I want the team working together. Like I want to
Mhm.
see teamwork and stop going after each other like that. It's just it's icky to me when they
Yes.
keep doing that.
They're
So,
family.
Yes.
yeah. And I'd like to see more Molly scenes this season.
Yes.
Yes.
I didn't mean
Other
to like
than that-
scream that into the microphone. Sorry, but yes.
And more shower scenes.
I could do with some more
No,
showers.
thank you. We don't need that.
We do.
Go
Carver
ahead.
and Violet, right? If they get together, we could use a shower scene there. I'm cool with that.
That would be a very nice shower scene.
Any other thoughts for this show before we move on to
Other
bed?
than other shower scenes, no.
Right, so
No, I can't
med.
think of anybody else.
So comfortable.
Let's roll into med.
The names of the med episodes always crack me up. They're always so awkward.
Your boat.
Always put them in
Why
a
is it? Why I never noticed that. Why is it like that?
only because I make the outlines. Do I like write them down or whatever? Just because
I
Like, the
never
other one-
noticed them.
go back and look at some of the episode names. That they're always weird stuff like that.
I didn't notice the titles were that weird.
They're always
didn't.
weird. You'll pay attention to them now.
It's long and weird too.
Yes.
Row, row, row your boat on a rocky sea.
That's
And
not the words. Those aren't the words. That was a terrible English sentence.
And I don't know where it comes. Like always try to figure out. Like, okay, well, where does that come from then?
Because in
I think
Grey's
it's-
Anatomy, right? They always put it in the
Their song.
Song.
Yeah.
Song. I do think in med it's always said somewhere in there, but I don't know where this one was
I don't
said.
remember hearing that, but of course it's me. But I don't remember hearing that at all anywhere.
Yeah, I don't know.
I loved seeing Luigi. That made me. I always.
Yes.
I think he's so good in this. I think he adds
really
a level
is.
of depth that Archer needs because
Yeah.
otherwise
Mhm.
Archer is just very one note and kind of
Agreed.
awful. So I like that. I
Yeah.
like when we see Luigi in there.
And it was good. It was nice to see Sean sober and everything's going
Yes.
well. Like I liked that update.
Yeah.
He's ready to donate his kidney. So
Forget now. Did who was the guy who owned the hospital before?
Jack Dayton. I don't
Jack
know how you
Dayton.
can forget that name. They said it like
I know. What? Remind me, how did he just sold the company to somebody else? Like what happened there?
they remember because Will and whatever the girl was that I didn't like, the little scientist lady, they
Mhm.
kind of like during the surgery of Jack Dayton, he was like having like just a hernia repair or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They like they made 2.0 act up in front of all the
Oh,
people.
that's
and
right. Yeah,
So
yeah.
Jack Dayton was like, well, that sucks because now we're not getting the money anymore. And he's like, I'll just sell it, basically.
That's right. Okay, I remember that.
But we don't
Not
know.
a smart
and I-
business decision anymore.
Yeah. So he's gone. But now I wonder, like, I felt like it was really ominous the way they mentioned the new owners.
Yes.
Yeah.
who we
It's
didn't
not
see.
over, which is annoying me.
I thought
Move
we were
on.
going to see them by the end of like the episode, and we didn't. So I was like,
They weren't even like their names weren't even mentioned, I don't
Nope.
think.
no, just that they're businessmen or whatever, like whatever that meant. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It was
Yeah.
different.
I thought one thing I didn't like was with Archer, you kind of assumed that when they introduced this girl who had kidney problem, you kind of knew where it was going. But the reason that irritated me is because as a doctor, you should obviously understand that's not how this process works.
Yeah.
It's not like you could just swap out one donor and give the kidney to someone who wasn't planned for. There's a boatload of testing that has to happen when you go to anybody. It's not that instantaneous. It's so the fact that Archer was like, hey, so could this be done? Like, you know it can't be done. It's only because this is the one thing in medical stuff that I know anything about is kidney donation.
Yeah.
So I was just like, really, don't make me
Yeah.
be smarter than you because I'm obviously not smarter than you. Don't make it look like I am.
And I mean, like, he is literally like, I understand you've been hesitant this whole time, but he is literally prepped and ready. And I let
Yes.
Hannah just kind of laid it out and was like, do not take this from him because this will break him if you
Yeah.
take it. Like, he needs to do this for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, just suck it up and take it. I get as a parent, I wouldn't want to take a kidney for my kid either. Okay. I
Mhm.
get that.
Yeah.
But if the kid really feels that strongly about needing to give this to me to do something right in their life, then I'm not gonna deny them
Mhm.
being able to do that either.
Yeah.
So,
And I mean, Sean's an adult, man. And
Yeah.
it's not just that he wants to, it's that he needs to. And all Dean was thinking about was how it would make Dean feel. And it's not,
Yes.
I mean, it's kind of hard to say it's not about you, but it is about him. It's about
mean, it
both of them. It's
is.
about the relationship together.
yes.
I
Yeah.
mean, would you rather die and not be around your son anymore and not have any influence over him at all? Or would you rather let him help you? And I think that's the hardest thing for some people is to let anybody help them at all. And I think that's what the crux of Dean's issue is.
Yeah. I agree.
But for Hannah to say, I'm not asking because I failed. I'm asking you because she's a kidney patient. Why? I don't understand why he needed to be involved in that case.
I
Yeah.
don't either.
That was weird.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I agree.
It was just a way to get him in there, but use something else, because just because he has kidney failure, you're not seeing if she has kidney failure. You're not getting her out of kidney failure. You're seeing if she has a lacerated kidney.
Mhm.
Why does someone who has kidney failure need to be involved in that just because they have kidney failure? It's not a lacerated kidney. Those are two very different things.
Right.
I don't know. That just felt weird to me.
It was a weird, yeah.
And I get that they were trying to tie in that the patient that Hannah had who died is now going to be the donor. Like, I get that. Fine, whatever. But it just, I wish they
also
wouldn't
don't-
take such it's like they're lobbing up easy storylines and seeing what sticks and then going with it. I wish they wouldn't do that. They're smarter than that.
Well, that was weird to me too, because like obviously, I mean, we saw it was clearly just an accident, something she missed, something that like Dr. Charles said, like, it happens, okay? You missed
She didn't
it.
miss.
Whatever.
It was an embolism.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, there was nothing she could have done that would have, like,
Yes.
whatever. It was no big deal. I mean, it was a big deal. Like, I'm not saying that, but like, it wasn't anything that was her fault.
Mm-hmm.
So why did we do that to Hannah? Like, why do we need her to be like I mean, like, did we need to put her in that headspace? I'm not really sure.
Because it didn't come up again.
Yeah,
Except for when Dean was like, is this why you're asking me to help? But she was clearly over it. So why do we have to even point that out?
it was weird, I think. Like,
Yeah.
surely we're not going to make Hannah struggle with anything again, because that storyline's already happened and it doesn't need to happen again.
No. And I think I like Hannah on her own, and I like how her relationship with Arthur continues to grow and ebb and flow. I don't need to see turmoil bond them because they're already bonded.
Yeah.
So I don't think we need to see that. That was the only storyline this week. It was theirs that drove me crazy, other than the constant rotation. I get it's a medical show, but I feel like they spend too much time. And this was our complaint last year. They spend too much time on these patients and almost
That we don't
nothing on the
care about.
characters. And we
Yeah.
don't care about the characters. We're never gonna, or the patients, we're never gonna see them again.
Med
Yeah.
is the worst about letting us see relationships that are outside of the hospital walls.
And that's probably
They
why it's
don't.
my least favorite,
Yeah.
to be honest.
And I
Yeah.
mean, so much so that Ben is now filing for a divorce from Maggie.
Yeah. We knew how
By
many.
the way, how good does Maggie look? That actress.
She looks much better too. I'm very
Yes.
happy. Yes.
She
Yes.
looks healthy again.
did.
I'm assuming that she's all done with her cancer treatment. So huzzah for that. I'm excited to see her free of that. And I don't know. I haven't looked at her story or
I
see
haven't
where she's
either,
at, but I'm
actually.
fairly certain she's done with her treatment by now, because it was a year ago?
Yeah.
I think it was last January
Close. Yeah.
when she announced that she had
Mhm.
it. And she was so thin by the end of it that I think the 6-month break was really good for a lot of people on these
Yeah.
shows.
I mean, really. Yeah.
She looked
Yeah.
so good and so healthy. And I was really excited to see her look like herself again.
Yeah.
Really happy
Yeah.
about it.
Oh, absolutely.
The one relationship, y'all realize this too, the one relationship we do have on the show, Dr. Charles and Liliana, we didn't even mention if they're still doing okay 6 months
Oh, I
down the
forgot
road.
about Liliana.
We didn't even mention it. Even though I'm pretty sure they said they loved each other in the season finale
And
last
did they
year.
say they were going to move in together?
I think so. He at least asked her, yeah. So,
Mhm.
yeah. So did that happen?
They
I
better
don't
not mess that up. Dr. Charles deserves something good.
know.
I was,
That's
ooh,
what.
I was mad at that guy for coming at Dr. Charles. I was like, you better not
What
make
a
Dr. Charles look bad.
What a weird story. Now that storyline was
It
one that
interests me.
it interests me, and I mean, I do think it's an interesting storyline just simply because I do see the guy's point. I do think sometimes medication is the first thing that we want to go to, and people out there, I think a lot of times you can be heavily like over medicated for these
Yeah,
things.
I agree.
And so I don't want to see this be like some big long thing between him and Dr. Charles, though, because we love Dr. Charles and we
Yes.
know that he's a good man. But I can also see the point of Ripley in that if this has been his experience with Dr. Charles as a adolescent, why he would have these feelings. So
Yeah.
I am interested in the storyline though, because he does seem like he's really got his stuff together. I mean, so he's come a really long way from what it sounds like was a really bad situation.
But he also still seems fairly combative when it comes to Dr. Charles. But I
When
don't
it
think
comes
it, and I think that's going to play out well, though. I think that's really going to be a storyline that I could get behind.
Yeah.
Because I think
So-
The other issue I have with it is, I don't know if this is protocol or not, but can a medical doctor just start taking a patient off of antipsychotic meds? Like, can you just start? I mean, he did say I did it in a controlled environment and it was just one at a time. But I still thought, like Dr. Charles said, you don't think you should have needed a psych consult? Because
I think he probably should have, but I'm not sure if he had. I don't think he had to consult him necessarily.
And that's what I liked about the storyline, because at first I was like, dude, you can't do that. You can't just start taking him off his meds that he's been on, man. That's so dangerous. But then when he said what he said, very calmly, very thought out, very collectedly, you could tell he was thinking about why he was doing it, how he would do it with the best. And then I was like, oh, okay, I guess I do side with you. And I like stories that make me do that, where I can't really choose a side because it's kind of blurred. And I think that's going to be the storyline.
And I mean, it is true. This is bringing realization to, I mean, a lot of these like mood stabilizers and things like this, they do affect your health in other ways. I mean, people talk about putting on a lot of weight or like other medications that make you have no appetite, you lose. I mean, it messes with your metabolism and stuff. So when you're over medicated like that, it can really mess with the rest of your health.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm really, but I don't want to see him and Dr. Charles fight about this for too long. But I'm interested in the storyline that I think it's going to bring anyways.
But I think one of the reasons he was so combative with Dr. Charles is because he hasn't spoken to Dr. Charles since then. And we see at the end where he says, you over-medicated me and then you were just gone.
I think that's
the issue. And I think that once he has this out with Dr. Charles and he says, listen, this was my problem with you. You just abandoned me. You did this. And Dr. Charles is going to make it right as Dr. Charles does. And I think they're going to be cool. And I think they're going to work well together beyond that.
Yeah.
Because I think Dr. Charles is still a little nervous about him working there. And I think Dr. Charles needs to see him in a calm and composed setting.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just hope that it doesn't go, because it's an interesting dynamic and he seems like an interesting character.
Yes.
Let's keep it going, because I feel like Ned has a horrible habit of introducing these characters that seem like, okay, this is going to be cool, and then they're just gone. Like,
why did they do that?
What was her name? The psych doctor that was working with Dr. Charles. I like her. Yes.
And I don't even learn names anymore for a while.
So it's like,
and the one who was the first one with 2.0, that doctor.
She just, I mean, she was gone.
She just disappeared, and that other side just was there. Like, what?
I even would take Grace back. I mean, you all forced her down our throats, okay?
Wait,
and I
Grace.
wasn't happy about it. The one that Will hooked up with, Dr. Song.
Oh yeah. That's the scientist, right?
Yes. So where'd she go? Did she go? But I mean, Jack Dayton left. Did that somehow make her have to leave too? Like, I don't know.
Well, yeah, because I think he was funding they didn't say it, but I think he was funding the research that she was doing at the hospital. She was a research doctor. So I think she had to go and get the money dried out.
As I was saying it. So I don't know. It's just, that's early Med. Okay, Med has never been one to go outside the hospital walls too much. Yeah. But we had, like, with Will and Natalie, with Ethan and April, we had relationships forming. And it doesn't even have to be romantic relationships, even though I like romantic relationships and shows. That's just me, and I enjoy those things. But it doesn't have to be. We saw those, even though they didn't leave the hospital, we still saw those relationships forming. We don't have, I mean, these people, other than Hannah and Dean, it's like they don't even know each other. Yes. If I'm being honest.
And those relationships, friendships and otherwise, we got to see them progress in the break rooms. We got to see them progress as they relied on each other's expertise for their cases. And we don't see that anymore.
Yeah. I mean, have Hannah and Crockett even met? I guess there was that one time that they worked together. But I mean, other than that, they've both been on the show a while. They've never interacted. It's weird.
How happy were you, though, to see Dr. Sam?
When he was, he cracks me up.
I love that man. I hope he never goes away.
When the lady at the end, of course I'm laughing because it saved this boy, which that storyline's crazy. Like, we've seen that on Grey's Anatomy, being decapitated internally and all that, it's wild. But she hugged Crockett, and I was thinking, well done, because I'd snag me a little hug too, mama. But then when she looked at Sam and he was like, and then he laughed so much, he was like, don't hug me. And she was he does not want to hug. He doesn't want to.
But he smiled when he did it.
He was still like, you're welcome, but don't touch me, please.
I love him. I think we need, so let's the 2.0 storyline was, just weird how hard he fought against it. And then all of a sudden he's like, yeah, let's use 2.0. Like,
Yeah.
I get that there's a 6 months jump where supposedly you worked on it, but we didn't see any of that. So it didn't make sense that
Which
you were, the last thing we saw was you fighting it. And now you're like, yes,
Yeah.
it does all things. So just,
I am okay with it
disconnect.
because I think I was saying last week, like, I don't want to get rid of 2.0 because 2.0 was cool.
but it
I just
became its
wanted
own
all the
character.
problems with it. Yes. And so hopefully it will now just be like
A
the
tool
hybrid
again.
OR.
Yeah.
Like, it's just another tool that we use, but we don't have to make it like everything, you know?
Yeah, agreed. Let's talk our hopes for this season for this. And I think for me, I think they should include more things that lighten up, like Dr. Sam. He's so serious, but the way he's serious is funny and it's good and it's entertainment. I want to see the relationship with Dr. Charles and what's his name, Raptor? No,
Ripley.
Ripley. Who's Raptor?
AJ.
AJ. That's right.
Yeah.
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 That's the resident. Wrong show.
Yeah.
But I want to see Ripley and Dr. Charles. I want to see their relationship grow. And I want to see Dr. Charles needs a partner again. I want to see him and Ripley working together to solve this problem. I think this could be a good problem that they could work to solve together. Something they're passionate about. I don't want to see Maggie and Ben get divorced. And if they're going to get divorced, if they are going to get divorced, you need to make Maggie happy. Because a sad, upset Maggie is just not, I don't want to watch it anymore.
I've been over Ben for a long time. We remember my rants and my raving about him. Yep. I want to never hear Mr. Ben's name one more time. I am so done with it.
Then they better make her happy.
Maggie deserves.
I've never been more annoyed with a character who's not even on the show.
I am so glad you're here because you weren't on any Chicago's podcast last year, and Maureen and I fought about this all the time about Ben. You would have been with me. Ben is terrible.
I'm fine with him getting divorced. He can go sayonara. Bye.
Like, Maggie deserves better. Like, it's fine. Get out of here.
Divorce just makes me sad.
She can go find her baby daddy. Go find him. I bet he'd be happy.
I wasn't a huge fan of him either.
I liked him better.
He was no prize.
Well,
I like my Ben.
Your Ben's great.
Yes. But maybe your Ben could go on the show. Chicago's not that far away.
He hates TV. Let's see how that goes.
He doesn't need to watch it to be on it.
This is true.
He'd be too analytical.
I think that would be good for Maggie.
She's trying to set your Ben up with a new person.
With May. Okay, I'm okay with it.
There's enough time to go around.
Amanda to Crockett, because then maybe she's willing to make the deal here.
I don't know. Crockett.
He's very high maintenance.
I liked Crockett in the last couple of years. Me either.
No.
I like Crockett. I don't like
his decisions.
Writing him. Yeah. I like to look.
I agree. His decisions, especially last year, his decisions were like, dude, come on. Last year.
I don't know what my hopes and dreams are for Med.
Relationships.
I know. I keep talking about Will. Like, Will Hall.
Get the hint, Dick Wolf.
I have no hopes and dreams. And I know it's awful, but like, I don't know where
I'm dead inside.
I don't know where I wanted to go without him, because like, he was a huge part of what kept me watching, because Med is chaotic.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's so much. I don't know. I think it's the same as the others. Fire's the only one that's doing it okay. I want to get back to our roots of this show more than anything on all of these. Like, I want to come back to our early seasons and
and the roots were balance.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I will
relationship
never give up on
plus
shows.
Cases.
I will watch until there's no more to watch.
I mean, if it gets like SVU, I gotta stop.
I won't. I mean, I'm committed.
I'm gonna have to.
It's like Grey's Anatomy at this point. Like, we're not gonna stop. Okay.
No.
But I'd like to enjoy myself just a little more.
Yes, I agree.
Is that mean? I don't want it to sound mean. I really don't.
I know. I agree with you. You're completely right.
Like, I want to enjoy these characters. It's because we like them, but like, so let me enjoy them.
And the reason we aren't enjoying them, it's not because like the show sucks. It's because you aren't giving us time with the characters. That's why.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we aren't enjoying it as much.
17 patients. I really don't.
Focus on one or two.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then have them work in groups, because I remember in the beginning of Med, it took me a while to get into Med. Med is my least favorite of the Chicago's. It's not to say I don't like it. It's just my least favorite of the Chicago's.
Same.
But I remember like Will and Natalie. I don't like Natalie. I like her now, but I didn't in the beginning.
Yeah.
But
why? Just because you like Nanny Carey?
Yeah, I love Nanny Carey. But just because Will would go to her and be like, hey, can you consult with me on this? And then they would pull in Dr. Charles and the three of them work on it. And that's what we need to
like
see.
all of them
Yes,
would,
when you spread them too thin and separate, we are getting too much information at too short of a window that we can't get invested in anything. We don't care about these new patients because we're going to see them for 15 minutes, less than that, and then they're never coming back again. And then you also rip away our characters from us that we can't spend time with them because we have to spend time with 17 other patients.
Yeah.
Yep.
We don't need that many. We don't. And plus, you won't have to work as hard to come up with creative solutions if you only do 1 or 2 patients an episode. When you work on 17 different patient cases in an episode, it starts to get boring.
Yeah.
Nothing's new anymore at that point.
Yeah. Agreed.
And also, who's manning the front of that ER? Letting all those people walk back into the ER and then you have to keep redirecting them out. Who's in the front?
Oh, I don't think anybody.
Literally.
Can't convince me otherwise.
Budget cuts, apparently, staffing.
The new business people are like, oh, don't need that position. We don't need janitors. Wasn't that an episode where they were like, we don't need to pay janitors? And then everybody had bed bugs? Wasn't that an episode of Med?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that was Med.
Do not one of our shows storyline.
No.
I think that's really it. What about you, Amanda? What do you have for hopes and dreams for this show?
You know what? To honestly
Echo?
to get me interested in it again. I have fallen so out of interest in Med, but there was a time when I really loved Med. So I want them to, again, we need a little bit more personal. We need some freaking characters. Some good.
Well, somebody that's gonna stay, because honestly, I don't like
the revolving door.
I don't really even like this is mean. Okay, and maybe it's because you haven't like given us a chance to really get to know them. But like the guy that was the 2 that we did see again, I can't even remember their names.
The interns?
I don't know. The one that worked with Crockett that one time that was kind of like, you know.
Oh yeah, he was in this episode. The guy who had the farting thing.
Yeah, and then the other guy who seems so sweet, the one
and
that
he works with Archer and Hannah a lot.
But like, I feel like there's nothing to those characters
because they're background, they're filler.
Yeah, even Doris. Doris has been around forever, but you've never made me love Doris.
Who?
Like, never the nurse.
she's the nurse that works with me. She and Maggie are the 2 main nurses.
Oh, I didn't know. I never knew her name.
You've never done anything to make me feel connected to her, and she's been on there for a long time
since the beginning.
Yeah, so we're just not getting connected to
establish them.
Yeah,
I don't need new characters so much as I need there to be roots.
Yeah.
I don't want a revolving door. I want roots.
I mean, Fire's the only one. We don't need any new characters in Fire. There's plenty there.
I mean, we need a new ambulance person.
We will need that just because we have to, but that's it. Okay, because we don't actually, because Antonio and Gabby are going to come back.
Gabby better not. Do not bring Gabby back. I would be so mad if Gabby comes back.
I'd be happy. And then maybe she can go and steal Matt from Sylvie.
Stop that, Dan.
No.
You took it too far.
She had her chance, and because she's Gabby, she absolutely ruined it.
No,
I just wanted to see y'all's faces when I said it.
Gabby can come back, but she's gonna leave. She's gonna leave Sylvia.
Gabby can stay where she's at. Go help save the world.
Sylvie's leaving. She's gonna go be happy with Matt.
Antonio doesn't need his sister to come back. He's a big boy. He can come back on his own. Well, I hope that you guys don't think that we're dissing the show because it was awful. They were good episodes. We really truly missed these shows. We missed these people. And the reason we're saying this is because we know how good they are and how good they can be. And because we love it so much, that's why we're picking it apart. I mean, it sounds way worse than what we're making it. It was still really enjoyable. 3 episodes. I enjoyed myself. I smiled a lot through it. I laughed through it. I just think that they are, it's like what we say when shows are just starting up. Season 1's always a throwaway. Always. Episode 1, after an extended break where they're trying to play catch up, it's a throwaway. Go into episode 2, and I guarantee you, starting at episode 2, it'll be better.
I hope so.
Than it was. But I think the show's going to continue to do great. I think Dick Wolf is not going to let these shows end or anything. It'll just be once the older, I'm going to say that again, because there's no way that was going to sound complimenting no matter how I put that. When the current characters decide to retire or leave the show, Dick Wolf will replace them because he's very good about picking shows that, like police shows, medical shows, fire shows, there's always people there to fill those roles.
Keep continuing it.
So I don't think these shows are going to go away no matter what anytime soon. So I think that you tune in, watch it. It's on Wednesdays. I don't know why in my head it was Tuesdays. I was all excited with Tuesday. I had my day all planned for watching it live. And then I was like, no, it's a Wednesday show.
It's Wednesday.
So it's on Wednesdays. It starts at 7 Central, right? Or 6 Central? 7, 8, 9? Oh, it's 8, 9, and 10.
8, 9,
Yeah.
10.
So it starts with Med though, right?
Yes.
Med, then Fire, then PD.
Yes.
So 8, and it's on NBC.
Yes.
So I sound confused, and you might think, what she just what? I watch it on Hulu. Okay, I have an antenna. I
Yeah.
don't have cable, so I always watch it on Hulu the next day.
we watched
I watched it on
the
Peacock.
next day.
Yes,
It's not
that's
even
what I
on
meant.
Hulu.
Yes, because see, it's in my head. I watched it on Hulu, and I went to watch it on Hulu this week. I'm like, wait, where is it not available anymore? And
I know.
almost
I did the
lost my
same thing.
mind.
I did the same
But
thing.
it's on Peacock. Anyway, you want to watch it live Wednesdays on NBC. Starts at 8, 7 Central, and it goes until 10, 9 Central. So watch it. It's a great show. Hopefully we can talk to some of these people, and stay tuned for some episodes. We're not sure what we're bringing you. We know that The Bear is coming up. We know that stay tuned for My Life with the Walter Boys, which you'll be getting next week. And hopefully some more fun things associated with that show are coming your way soon. We're not sure, but watch out for those. Let us know if there's a show you want us to check out. Like we said, we're only doing the premiere episodes, and we will not be coming back with another Chicago one until the mid-season finale, which is going to look different this year.
Yeah.
That'll probably be in March? I would assume,
Probably.
because it's going to
Probably.
end in May. So sometime in March, we'll come back with another Chicago one, and then we won't be back again until the season finale. So stay tuned for all that stuff. Keep watching our channel. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please subscribe. The more you subscribe, the more views our channel gets, and the more interviews we can get for you from the actors and cast and crew from these shows that you love so much. So make sure you're doing that. Share with your family and friends, and we'll see you real soon. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Loving our content? Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to share our podcast with your family and friends. We want to continue the conversation with you. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, or TikTok under Fandom Family Chats, or one of our ever-growing Facebook groups by searching Family Fan Club. We've also launched a website, Family Fan Club 2021 at wixsite.com. You can email us there and keep checking it for announcements and merch coming soon. And of course, be sure to tune in every week for new episodes discussing all your favorite shows.